saw it and all of a sudden we figured it out.
Good morning, Ms. Toastmaster, our guest, and fellow Toastmasters. I have the pleasure this morning of evaluating Missy, and thank you for coming to me and asking me to do this. This is like table topics. You kind of have to think very quickly about what you're going to do and what you're going to say, but you gave me great material to work with, Missy. First of all, your speech was focused on speaking to entertain, and you certainly did that through your stories. I think you even gave us another opportunity to endear ourselves to you. Even, we certainly already love you and admire you, but I think in sharing a little bit more of yourself, you not only entertained, but again, you endeared us to you. I think that's one of the great things about Toastmasters, that through these stories that we share about each other, we have the opportunity to get to know each other on a more personal level. And so you certainly did that. I think one of the wonderful things about your speech was the colorful language and phrases that you used, comparing your rickshaw driver to Secretariat and being in that race, using your description of the love-hate relationship, that one person loved the one and the other one, hated the other. I mean, I've never seen them juxtaposed in that way, so that's a very different use of that phrase. You also used very vivid descriptions. It was a very visual speech. When you described all of these stories, I immediately in my mind could see it all being played out. The McDonald's story in particular, I could see your daughter standing there, and I felt just the discomfort that you felt. And I saw myself as one of those parents saying, I'm glad it's you and not me. A couple of points of polish would be just the organization and the transition. I, for one, and I do this in church every Sunday, I want my pastor to tell me how many stories he's going to tell me, how many jokes, and when when we're going to be done. So the whole speech, I'm kind of pacing where we are. And I think anyone listening to a speech, they want to know where we are in the speech. So one of the things you could have done to help us with that was in the beginning to tell us, I'm going to share with you 4 stories about my childhood. And so as you went through the stories, not your childhood, but your life, but as you went through the stories, to kind of help us along in the process. The first story, second story, third story. I think there were 4, maybe 5 stories. And so as you went along, again, I would have liked to have known, are we in the middle? Are there 2 more stories that I get to enjoy? How many more stories are we going to be able to hear from? So that's more of an organization and a pacing thing. I do think that you did an excellent job in just transitioning from one story to the next. But again, if you would do it again, I would suggest again that you give us more of a roadmap from the beginning. In closing, I would say that you told us in the beginning that you wanted to have us focus more on the joys of life, that you wanted to bring some humor to the meeting, and you certainly did that, and reminded us that even though life is certainly full of pain and disappointments, that there's also lots of joy, and there's even joy and laughter in places that we wouldn't even expect to find it. So I thank you for that. And again, you did an awesome job. Thanks for sharing of yourself with us, Madam Toastmaster.
All right.